Welcome to this live event. My name is Nadia Delacruz, and I am the founder of the Angel Tarot page and Wayne Dyer Wisdom Community. You may have seen me there. So I am here with you today to talk a little bit about sensitivity and the benefits and the symptoms that come with that. So I will give everyone just a moment to join us, anyone who can make it. And so why don't we light some sage and clear the space while we're waiting. If you haven't heard of smudging, it's a very ancient and simple practice for cleansing the energy of a space, and something that's very easy for you to do at home. All right, now, thank you to everyone who's able to join me today. I know a lot of you are in multiple time zones and it can be tricky. So if you wanted to join us and participate, but you weren't able to, I hope that you will get to catch the live replay. So we are talking about what it means to be an empath, which really falls under the broader category of sensitivity. And there's been a lot of kind of buzzwords going around about highly sensitive people, or HSP, and empath, or different levels of sensitivity. And you might be wondering what those mean, or does it apply to you, or maybe you already identify as sensitive and you just want to learn more about. You probably know what a lot of the symptoms are, but maybe you want to hear more about those benefits, because I think it's a common mistake to believe that, oh, I'm an empath, and that means that it's a burden on me, and I pick up on the emotions and the stress of other people, and I feel terrible, and I'm tired, and I'm getting sick, and I avoid people altogether. Sometimes people will. And it doesn't have to be that way. I think when you're aware of who you are and how you operate and what your needs are, then you can practice really good self-care and take care of what you need, and then it's not a problem. Hi, Valerie. Thanks for joining me. So we have this sensitivity, which is generally referred to as the five senses, that maybe you feel things more strongly than average. And then there's a highly sensitive person, which feels things very strongly with their senses, sight, sound, taste, touch, that it becomes a difficulty in your life if you don't know how to deal with it. So people might think that, that it's an illness or a disability, but it's really just a different way of being. And there are gifts that come with that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then there's an empath, which I have heard to be described as highly sensitive plus feeling the emotions of others. So empathy is that, you show concern for how somebody else is feeling. But if you identify as an empath, that definition means that you don't just intellectually care about how somebody is feeling, but you actually feel it in your own body. So you might meet with a friend and they haven't said anything to you, but you can just feel the energy of their emotions, and you might start to cry and not know why. So an empath feels things very deeply, and it's kind of it's a different level of energy, or what I like to think of as that sixth sense, that we don't have just five senses. And I think that we've really, as a community, we've really done ourselves a disservice by suggesting that we only have five senses and that's it. If you can't see it, if you can't touch it, it doesn't exist. And that's absolutely not true. And all of us can feel energy. You can feel the energy of a room, right? Like if there's tension, then you feel that. Well, how do you explain that? What is it? That's another sense. And it's one that all of us have, but to varying degrees of sensitivity. All right. So I have made a little list here of 10 symptoms of being an empath. So here we go. You might be an empath if you're labeled as overly sensitive, shy, or introverted. You might prefer one-to-one interactions or small groups rather than large gatherings. You may be drained by crowds and needs a lot of alone time to recharge. You absorb other people's stress, emotions, or symptoms. You know, sometimes you'll be in a crowd and you were fine before and all of a sudden you feel really bad. Like you might go running out to your car to like try to get yourself together and be like, what happened? Well, it may not even be your emotions that you're picking up on. You might be picking up on the feelings of people around you. So that's why it's good to be self-aware, and learning that you're an empath and learning that there's nothing wrong with it can really help us. You might need a long time to recuperate after being with difficult people or in emotionally charged situations, to process all of that. You might be overstimulated by noise, odors, busy environments, bright lights sometimes. You might tend to socially isolate. And I would also add to that, you know, you might prefer animals over people because animals have this, you know, very sort of, they don't expect anything from you. So their energetic presence feels less disruptive, and you might find that more comforting. You may be prone to tears or distress from hearing sad stories, watching the news, TV, and movies. You know, it took me a while to figure out that horror movies just really weren't for me. I was kind of forcing myself to stick it out as a teenager because I thought I was supposed to like it. And eventually I figured out, yeah, no, I'm too sensitive for this. So that's natural. And not everybody feels that way, but if you're sensitive, you will. So those are the symptoms. The percentage that I heard is that about 20% of people are more sensitive than average. Now, I don't know, it varies, right? And I want to reiterate that sensitivity shows up differently for everybody. So we are all unique, and you're not necessarily going to have all of these symptoms, but if you're sensitive, you've probably had a few. Like, people have probably told you that you're too sensitive. And I'm here to tell you, if you believed them that you were too sensitive and you thought there was something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. You're different. And with that difference comes incredible gifts. But we do have to take care of ourselves. So if you're going into social situations and you're taking on the feelings and the energy of other people, then you need to give yourself plenty of time to recover. So a lot of that is just giving yourself permission to go home when you feel you need to go home, cancel plans when you just don't feel up to going out. That's a type of self-care. And it starts with awareness. Also being really accepting of your own emotions. So being an empath is sensitive to the emotions of others. It means you also feel things very strongly within your own body for your own feelings. And not to push those feelings away, but to kind of open your arms to whatever it is that you are feeling and accept it. And when you love yourself and you respect yourself, nobody else is going to have to take care of you because you'll already be doing it. Give yourself permission to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Set boundaries and, connect with nature to recharge. So nature is amazing. And we've kind of been taken out of the woods and put into these buildings and offices and everything, but we are still a piece of nature, and that is very restorative for us. Obviously, diet plays a role in everything. So if you're eating more fruits and vegetables, drinking enough water, that's going to help you too, because if you keep your body strong, you're going to keep your emotions and your energy strong as well. And if we don't take care of ourselves, or we don't recognize that gosh, I am sensitive and I am empathic, then you might fall into a pattern of overgiving or not setting boundaries with people, which will get you into unhealthy relationships where people are taking whatever you're giving and you just become drained and resentful, or you find somebody and you feel their pain and you want to heal them, which, by the way, you can't do. You can't fix somebody else's problems. You can give them love and you can be supportive, but that's an inside job, and that's something that they need to do when they're ready. So if you go around trying to save everyone, that's not it's not going to work out, and you're going to run yourself into the ground. So avoiding these common pitfalls of overgiving and not setting boundaries, will keep you in healthy relationships, which we need to be especially mindful of when we are sensitive. Hi, Elsa. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Carly. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are getting into the good part now, which is the strengths and abilities that come with being an empath. There is a little quote here from Dr. Judith Orloff. Now, she wrote the book, The Empath Survival Guide. And I think that this is a good one. She is a medical doctor who discovered that she was an empath and did a lot of, scientific research into what it means to be an empath, and wrote this guide for all of us to learn how to understand it and take care of ourselves. So there's other books out there, but this is one that is worth looking into if you're interested. Now, one of the things that she says about the benefits is being empathic has incredible benefits such as greater intuition, compassion, creativity, and a deeper connection to other people. But living in this state of high sensitivity also comes with its challenges, such as becoming easily overwhelmed, overstimulated, exhausted, or absorbing the stress and negativity of others. So I feel like a lot of people tend to think that if you're sensitive, it's all bad, but there's actually really a lot of good that comes with it. Increased awareness of others, often of places and things too. Like if you walk into a building and you get a sense of the space. This is something you might really notice if you're like house hunting, right? You'll go into a space and sometimes it'll feel like home, and sometimes it'll feel like, this isn't a match, or maybe something not good happened here, or, somebody I wouldn't like very much may have sort of left an imprint on the place. Or you go to like a historical building. Like some of the old churches are just amazing, and they vibrate with the energy of all that prayer that people have put into it over the years. It becomes a sacred space because of the energy that we put into it. You can feel that, and you can also be an excellent judge of character, because your first impression can give you a great deal of information about a person's energy, personality, and intentions. So when I was younger, I would have these instant impressions of people, particularly if it's, let's say you're meeting somebody new, whether it's for dating or a friendship, a friend of a friend, something like that. And you're kind of deciding whether you want this person to be a part of your life. Trust your instincts, for God's sake. But so often we will feel something and then we'll be like, what do I know? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. And then it comes to bite you in the end. So I think with age comes wisdom, and hopefully you learn, once you discover that you are sensitive, to trust your instincts. Trust your first impressions of people. That is an incredible skill. I mean, can you imagine if we really trust that and use it? Like, you almost can't go wrong. You almost can't go wrong, because you will know when something feels right and something doesn't. And you begin to trust your feelings, trust in yourself. What a life lesson that is. You can have incredible compassion for others, since you are feeling what they feel and not just imagining what they feel. It's likely that people are drawn to you. They want to tell you their stories. They probably open up to you in a way that They don't often open up to others. They may not even know why they're doing it, but they just start talking to you because they can sense your openness and your compassion, and you're kind of a soft place to land. And that's good as long as you're setting boundaries and going home to recharge when you need to. Human lie detector, right? That goes along with the being able to read people and getting first impressions. Boy, if somebody is projecting something on the outside or specifically saying something and it doesn't match the inside, you will know. You will know. And that is a gift. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do anything, but you might go, yeah, I don't trust this person because their outside doesn't match their inside. Now, these are skills that you can foster and develop and make use of them. You may be called to become an intuitive, a psychic, a healer, a counselor, a coach, a teacher. You might go into the medical field. There's a lot of people working as medical doctors and nurses that are empaths, and they use that to help diagnose and treat and care for others. And that's a really beautiful thing, as long as they're also taking care of themselves. And some of the things that can help you develop those skills are meditation, prayer, oracle cards, learning more about angels and guides, which has really been my path. That what I have found is that if you are sensitive, then you are also likely to be intuitive. And intuition and psychic, well, tomato, tomato, right? We're picking up on information that can't be seen. So that's a sixth sense. And as we learn with quantum physics, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates at an energy. Every thought is an energy. Every object is an energy. And so when you are sensitive, you're sensitive to energy, and energy is information. There's information in what you are feeling, right? Because the vibrations are different. Is somebody happy? Are they sad? Are they angry? Do they have hostile intentions? Those are all different energies. Or, is this a good house for me? Or is this a good decision for me? There's energy attached to all of those things. And so that's information. So how about that, right? You can intuit information that most people are blind to. I mean, that's amazing. That is really amazing. Now, I believe that everybody is psychic to a certain degree, because I don't think we're limited to 5 senses. We never were limited to 5 senses. Or you wouldn't have people talk about gut feelings or spidey senses, or have a bad feeling that you can't explain, or feel comfort and relief out of nowhere. Have you ever walked into a room after someone had an argument and felt thickness in the air, like you could cut it with a knife? These descriptions are in the language that we use commonly, and it's energy. It's energy that we're talking about, and we can feel it. But some people feel it more, and some people really feel it, and when you feel it and you trust it, you can use it. So, right? Can I get an amen? That is an amazing and beautiful thing. So, where are we headed with this? I think that more people are becoming aware of sensitivity as it not being an illness or a problem, but a different way of being. And more children are coming into the world with increased sensitivity, and they certainly bring gifts with them. We are part of a cultural paradigm shift that's moving us into a new era. We're shifting the balance to divine feminine. We've had eons of, I don't know the number of years, you can tell it, so I said eons. We've had a long time of living in a warmongering, patriarchal society, and it's kind of a perversion of the masculine. It's imbalanced, and so we're bringing in the feminine, not to overtake the masculine, but to bring back a balance. Now, there's a quote that I saw on a website called templeofthewayoflight.org. It's a shamanism site. And I don't know who wrote it, there wasn't a name, but it said, and I agree with this, we are witnessing a global spiritual renaissance that is reawakening our connection to Mother Earth, and in the process, breaking the hold of modern patriarchal systems of control and the mechanistic worldview that disavows the sacred and the interconnection of all life. So if you're not familiar with masculine and feminine energies, I can give you a real quick summary here. Masculine is focused, driven, logical, rigid and stable, problem solving and doing. It's about action. Feminine is nurturing, intuitive, fluid and flexible, receptive, gentle, and about being rather than doing. So we really need a balance of both. And it's not that all men only have the masculine traits and all women only have the feminine. No, we both have a balance of both. So that's not gender specific. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that, if you already identified as sensitive, that maybe you found something beneficial about, honoring and feeling gratitude for the gifts that come with it, or learning a little bit more about how to take care of your own needs and giving yourself permission to do what you need to do to protect your own energy and recover when you need to. And, I want to take this further. And I think that if you are sensitive, then you are more than likely highly intuitive. And I will be putting out videos in the future about developing your intuition. If you have any questions or there is something else that you would like to learn more about, please let me know. Those of you who have joined me here today, hi Louise, Elsa, Valerie, if you guys have any questions about what we covered or about sensitivity or about being an empath, please post them now and we can go through that. I do offer angel card readings. So if you're not familiar with me, my website is angeltarot.org. And every reading that I do, I'm tuning into your energy. I'm tuning into where you're at on your path, and how to help you overcome obstacles, find your purpose, and manifest miracles. We are divine beings of light having a human experience. And oh my gosh, we are here for such a short time. We are just moving through this earth. Like Wayne Dyer says, we come from nowhere to now here and back to nowhere again. It's just a little question of spacing. And while we're here, being human is not for the faint of heart. It is a challenge and an adventure. And I believe that we came here intentionally. Now, this is the time of big change. So why did you choose to come here now? Sometimes I think we go, oh my gosh, what was I thinking, right? But we wanted to be here and we wanted to be a part of this. Even though it's challenging, it is really interesting. And we are all here together. And I think it's important that we support each other. It's not easy. If you need a little help, I would love to help any way that I can. If you want information, message me. If you'd like a reading, come to my website and let's set something up. Thank you to everyone for joining me today. It is a real honor to get together to talk to you about something that is so near and dear to my heart. There is not anything wrong with you, and you have incredible gifts. Incredible gifts. Sensitivity is a superpower. Thank you for joining me. Take care of yourself. Love to each other. Love to you all. Angel blessings and namaste.